Hola, good morning, welcome. Sorry I'm late. It's a busy morning, 9:15 UK time. Right, what we got today? Well, we're as I said yesterday and on Friday, if we lost this area here, 63,200, then we're coming down, and we have done that. I know that I looked at this as five waves, and I'm still looking at this as a five wave. It's just from an Elliott wave point of view, all these structures here are a little bit crappy to try and count, so it's got to be a bit of an overall idea. Um, so what we would say is that we've got a bunch of 1-2s in here. This is our 3 here, and then we're working on 4s and 5s. And that's all I've got really on that. And that still creates the corrective pattern, WXY, ABC, however we want to count it. It's the same gig, right? And we've got the juicy of the juicins here. We've got some equal, pretty much, if you actually look, just having looked at that from what happened last night, all these are pretty much equal lows. So I would expect at the very least that we come back and we start to deal with all these equal lows here. So by the time we wish through here, we may get a nice bounce off 61,200. However, we have this kind of gap still, which obviously is still important. So this is the value, this is the volume profile from this previous structure here, which we're sitting inside, and so therefore I always count it as like the mother structure until we break one way or the other. And I think, I again mentioned this last week, is that 60,000 would be a good target for us to come down, because I think that's also the golden pocket here. Yeah, so we pull it. It's the golden pocket 786. In fact, let me just correct that a little bit. 60,300 is the GP, and then I don't really want to come lower than $500. So that would be that, and that's the 886 there. No, it's not. What am I saying? Sorry, that's not the 886 there. Let's get the 886 on and see where that is. There it is. So 886, that right where I put it before, on the 886. Ridiculous. Anyway, so listen, so yeah, this is all a bit of a muddle, if I'm honest with you. There is definitely a short here this morning. From here, we've lost the weekly, we've lost the daily VWAP, however, we are above the daily open. And there's not a lot to say that we don't do this and come up further just to come back down again. We do have news today, CPI in the HUS. And then there is this interesting Chair Walsh testifies. This is going to probably keep the markets pretty stagnant till this has happened. So don't be surprised that if New York doesn't really do much on the open, we might get a bit of up and down here. We got this ABP, so we got some news. So we might get a decent move off this. What London does today, I don't know. This doesn't look like a finished structure to me. This looks like that we had like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then came back up into the previous fourth for this 4, and this is a 5. And we've come back into that previous fourth again, and we're going to come down again. And that's what gives you this kind of choppy structure to the end. And I always say that when we're looking at these structures, we look for chop, down, chop, or obviously chop, up, chop. And we try to trade the middle part and stay out of here and here. So I think overall, I'm probably neutral to bearish this morning. I would like us to, because I definitely am very confident that we're going to come take these guys out. These three big highs here. I know Coinbase took it out already, but that's Coinbase. No one else did. None of the other exchanges did. So that's another kind of signal that this is quite possibly going to happen. Now, do they need to come for these lows? No, they don't. Has this achieved its minimum target? I got to say, I think it has. Let's have a look. We're just off the 1-to-1, but it's come to the 618, but it hasn't stopped. So I think this is going to come into the 1-to-1 here. The 1-to-1 would be this would be a much better look for a long. That would work quite nicely, if I'm honest with you. If honestly does prevail. What does that give us on that? We just do this. So that would be the 0.5. Okay. On the old Fibonacci. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. It's not a whole bunch. Unfortunately, it is summertime, and therefore the it's just range after range at the moment. There's just no one in the market. No one is playing with Bitcoin at the moment, and so it's just tough. I hope we all got short from this red box on Friday, and actually we had it there as well on Monday, so it was there all week. That was a nasty move, man. I bet you $1 million that once this had happened, people took profit here and then moved their stop loss here. And then it just crawled, didn't even spout, just crawled its way, and then bang. And then it stood here, didn't take the top out, and now it's come all the way back down again. Absolute fucking horrible price action. If you were short. But anyway, if you got short here at the weekend, that was good. And we continue to see this short play out, I think. All right, guys. There's not a lot else to say at the moment. Realistically, the only trades that I think I'm really interested in are, if we get here, I might look for a long. If we get here, I might look for a long. And obviously, I'm looking for shorts up here. But otherwise, there's just nothing, unfortunately, going to stop this continuing to do this. Building out. So let's see what happens when we get news from New York later on this morning. See if we get any reaction. And I'll come back on maybe before 2:00 and try and work it out. I'm going out at 2. Oh, that's depressing. Yeah. So anyway, I might be and I might not be. All right, guys. Listen, that's all there is. There isn't a lot to say. This is just trash. Let's look for here. If we pump up to here, then this is a possible scalp. This is the possible scalp here. It's basically the 886.5, sorry, the 618.5. And I guess it would fill out this here as well. And then you'd probably get this. And it would be this. And that's the problem with corrective nonsense. So it's an up or down at the moment, guys. I'm sorry. We are, trading, really just trading value area high to value area low. That is probably your best bet at the moment. Let me just quickly see what we've got from here. I'm just going to take it to here. Same. We haven't got any lower volume really coming in. Here, where is it? Yeah, so this value area, this structure here still has value down here. If we come all the way, same thing. Yeah. So we've still got value here, but this is the value area high. So um yeah, it is unfortunately what it is. So look, trade safe. If you don't need to trade, I just will wait until we get the CPI print and we can see what Mr. Walsh is going to say. But it could be another frustrating week, unfortunately. Alrighty, that's me done. Taddy buys, lots of love. Bye bye.